This was an overloaded truck, with an open container that was completely empty. The Bolt customs officer thought it was a machine malfunction, so he went up to check, but found nothing. However, the driver's shifty eyes made him suspicious. He circled to the side of the truck and noticed that the exterior of the truck was longer than the interior. To confirm his suspicion, he ordered his men to fire a shot deep into the container. The bullet hit the extra part of the truck, and sure enough, there was another hidden space at the back of the truck. Inside, the refugees' heart sank, but instead of ordering an attack, the bald officer tried to talk them out, promising them shelter, food, and water if they came out. He tried persuading them for a long while, but there was no response. Growing impatient, he was about to give the order to fire when a blonde girl suddenly pushed open the iron door and walked out. The officer signaled for his men to lower their weapons and approached to greet her. The girl thought she was saved until, without hesitation, the officer pulled the trigger and killed her on the spot. The others didn't fare any better. In a hail of bullets, they all fell. Only one woman, who was hiding under a wooden crate, managed to survive. She tightly covered her mouth, not daring to make a sound. The officer was about to leave when he discovered a little girl still hiding inside. Naturally, she didn't escape either. The men began clearing out the bodies, washing away the blood, and destroying the evidence. The container doors were shut, and the massacre ended. It was only then that the woman allowed herself to cry out in despair. She thought she had escaped death, but an even worse disaster was waiting for her. The container was loaded onto a ship, and suddenly, the ship rocked violently. There was a massive storm. The container was thrown off the ship and into the sea. The woman woke up again, looking through a bullet hole in the container. To her shock, she realized she was drifting in the middle of the ocean. She grabbed her phone to call for help, but it was waterlogged and no longer working. The backup phone had its password forgotten. Worse still, the bullet hole was causing the container to slowly fill with water. Frantically searching through the container, she found it full of items like flat-screen TVs, headphones, and clothes. In her despair, she found a roll of tape and quickly patched up the leak, giving her some peace of mind. Just then, she heard shouting from outside. She looked out and saw another group of illegal immigrants in a similar situation. The container was gradually sinking due to the overload. Before long, the container was swallowed by the ocean. Watching this, the woman felt a deep sense of foreboding, but the pain in her belly gave her strength. Her husband was held captive by terrorists elsewhere, his fate uncertain, and the child growing inside her was now her only reason to survive. As the grief overwhelmed her, she drifted off to sleep, but not long after, a sharp, icy chill woke her up. The container had taken on a large amount of water overnight and began sinking.